welcome to my very first vlog. So I thought during lockdown I've got lots of time and I'd do a little day in the life of what it's like on the smallholding at the minute. It's not that different to normal apart from the fact that I'm furloughed, so I've got lots of time to spend with the animals, which is lovely, and out in the countryside. So yeah, here's a little insight into how I spend my day. So we've got orphan lambs at the minute, so me and Mum are taking it in turns to do the early shift. Today was one of my early shifts, so my alarm goes off at 4:45 AM. The sun's just starting to come up. I just kind of try and wake up a bit. I'm not really a morning person, so it sometimes takes a bit to get me going. And then I head downstairs to mix up the milk for the lamb's first feed of the day, which is at 5 AM. Pop the kettle on to warm the milk up. So we've got two lambs at the moment that are orphans living in the garden, so they're near home. So I let the dogs out and we head up there to give them their first feed. They're kept in the shed at night, which just keeps them safe from kind of foxes and things that might be lurking around. It would be awful if we lost one to that after so much effort goes into them. So we let them out for the day and they have a pen in the daytime. They did free range around the garden, but they started eating Mum's vegetables, so they're in a pen now. But yeah, have their first feed and then I just spend some time with them. And then disinfect and clean out the bottles before I head up to check the one sheep that we've got left to lamb. So our land is about 10 minutes drive from our house, which is not too bad. It can be annoying when you're going up and down at lambing time, but you don't really notice it the rest of the year. It's just a quick journey in the car. And as you can see, the sun's starting to come up there. It's so beautiful at this time in the morning, and especially at the minute because it just seems so quiet everywhere and it's just really, really peaceful. And then I mix up the breakfast for the two sheep we have here at the minute. We've got the one which has got one lamb left, and that's where the orphan lambs came from. She had 3 and she rejected 2. So 2 came home with us, 1 is still with her, and then we've got 1 black ewe which we're waiting to lamb, and that's the last one of our lot. So I just give them their breakfast and then let them out in the field for the day. Again, we bring them in at night just to keep them safe from any predators, and also because we don't really want her lambing somewhere randomly in the field. She's a first time mum and she might kind of lose it or something, so just to keep an eye on her. And then when they're all done, I just kind of appreciate the sunrise for a minute just because it's so beautiful and it just gets me every time how stunning it is up there. And then I head back towards home. And then I usually stop about halfway in one of my favourite spots, which is just down by the river, like 5 minutes from our house, if that. And I stop there and give the dogs their morning walk. Again, at the minute, it's really quiet here. It's never busy at this time in the morning, but also with lockdown, obviously, it's even quieter. So dogs love having a good run. And they always run exactly where my camera is. And then we tend to go down by the river for a bit and just kind of chill and enjoy it. The mist is always rising at this time in the morning off the river and it's just really beautiful. So just go and appreciate that. And Fern, the springer, always likes to have a little bit of a paddle. Max, the little one, is not so keen, but she loves it. This is definitely one of my favourite spots. Spend about 40 minutes down there usually, and then head home for some breakfast. So Fern gets her breakfast first. I still have to spread it outside like I did when she was a puppy because she just inhales her food so fast that she chokes on it. So I spread it out for her, make it a bit harder. And then I make myself a smoothie. I'm not really a big one for eating in the morning, so smoothies just kind of suit me well. Then I tend to just chill for a bit, check social media, the kind of normal stuff. And then before you know it, it's time to feed the lambs again. And then I do my daily workout. Depending on how much energy I have, depends what I do. I don't think there's any point in like forcing yourself to do something when you're exhausted, and I am tired a lot at the minute because of the lambs. So today I just did a 15-minute ab workout and then a 15-minute stretching. And then I just have a quick shower before it's time to feed the lambs again. And then I just munch on a few Jaffa cakes while I'm waiting for the milk to heat up. Got one of those calories that I just burnt off, probably. And then again, I just spend some time with them after I've fed them. They do really look to you as a mother figure, so I think it's important to give them that kind of attention. Obviously, they just mainly want food off you rather than love, but they do like the first too. And then I just slap some makeup on, not really because I'm going to see anyone, just because it makes me feel kind of more put together and kind of better, so I just do a bit of makeup. And then I tend to work on any projects I'm working on at the minute, whether it's music, any of my recording. I had some photo editing to do today, so yeah, I just did that, finished off the Jaffa cakes, and then before you know it, it's time to feed the lambs again. And Fern very helpfully putting her nose on my camera. And again, we're just really careful after every feed to make sure that we disinfect everything properly. Cook up some lunch quickly, it's just leftover paella, nothing exciting. And then I filled up our big water tanks to take up the field because our rainwater system's run out. So I took this up to our land where the sheep you saw this morning were. The sun's really out now and it's turning into a really beautiful day. Step behind a tractor, which usually happens. And then obviously me being me, I forgot the gate keys, which I do literally 9 to 10% of the time, so I had to lift the very heavy water tank and shove it through the bars, which I'm kind of expert at now, but it's definitely easier to remember the key. And there's Staffy just enjoying some cold, fresh water. The black sheep that were waiting to lamb, she was lying down, but I think she was just really hot. I didn't think she was imminently lambing. Staffy enjoying some fuss. And then I jumped back in the car and I headed back down to the river. I don't always walk 2 times in the same place in a day, but it was just so beautiful today. I wanted to be down by the river. It was so hot that it's nice for the dogs to be there, so I hopped down there. And we just walked a bit further along than we walked this morning. I wanted to go for a swim, and it tends to get quite busy near where you park on days like today, so we just walk a bit further along and find our own spot. And as you can see, this is one of my favourite spots too, and it's really quiet, there's no one else there, so we have the place to ourselves. So while swimming is one of my favourite things to do, I've been doing a lot at the moment with the extra time and because the weather's just been so nice. If you haven't tried it, I really recommend it. I just find the kind of light on the trees and the water and everything just so calming. It's meant to be really good for you as well, and it's just something I really enjoy. If you're a bit worried about it being cold, I just recommend walking to where you're going to swim. I know a lot of people literally just pull up in the car and then try and jump straight in the water, but I find if I walk, I get really hot and sweaty in this weather, and then by the time you get there, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so hot, I just want to jump straight in. I find that really helps me. I did used to be a massive wuss about getting in, but I've got a lot better. So yeah, after about half an hour in the water, I then tend to head back. And then I head to the land where our other sheep are at the moment. So these are the ones which have lambed a few weeks ago. They're down on a friend's orchard at the moment, just grazing their grass for them. So I'll go and check them and give them their dinner too. Again, another really beautiful spot. They were all hiding in the shade because it was so hot. Just a little barn thing they've got to shelter them. And then I mixed up their feed. Very helpfully, Spotty the one jumped out of the fence. And then I tried to get her back in the field. But yeah, she wasn't playing ball. She wouldn't go back over the way she came out, and stupidly I didn't have my knife on me, and there was some very interesting knots on the gates that I couldn't undo. So yeah, I did try for a bit to get her back in, but then I just gave up and called Mum, who came and helped me. And then back in the car and time to head home for some tea. Quick shower to rinse off all the river water. And then I usually remember I haven't drunk enough, so I kind of down 2 pints or something. And then time for dog's dinner. And lamb dinner. And then our dinner, as you can see, everyone else gets fed before us. So the weather was so nice we decided to cook outside, which is something we do quite often. And just having a cider to kind of unwind at the end of the day. And then I also let the lambs out into the garden. They like to have a run around, and in the evening they get really skippy, and so it's nice to see them out and about. And then Mum went off to check the last sheep we had left to lamb, and I mixed up the lamb's feed. They were being very cheeky because I left the gate open and they snuck in the house. As you can see, they know where the milk comes from in the fridge. And they seem to have an obsession with household appliances because the washing machine was also very interesting. So while I was giving them their last feed, Mum rang me to say that the black ewe had actually lambed, so I then finished feeding them and headed up to see the ewe. The sun was setting and it was just a really glorious end to a beautiful day. So yeah, when I arrived, Mum had already got the sheep in from the field, penned the little black one up on her own. So this ewe is half Jacob. I wasn't sure what colour lamb she was going to have because the lamb's only a quarter Jacob, but she had a really lovely little black ewe lamb, which I'm hoping to keep to breed from. So once we were happy that the lamb was feeding properly, I headed home to get some well-earned rest before I was up again to feed the orphans at 1 AM. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below what you thought, any ideas for future vlogs, if you think I should do them, if you think I should go away and never come back again. Please don't say that, I cry. No, I'm joking. Yeah, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you don't already. Put a little link there. I try and do daily lamb updates on my stories, so you can kind of keep up to date with them and get to know them. And yeah, thank you for watching.